Hello everybody, and I thought we'd talk about feeding fish, shrimp, and plecos and what I feed. So, in addition to what I want to talk about in this video, I feed Hikari algae wafers to the tanks with a lot of plecos, and the shrimp tanks I usually throw a couple in there too because they enjoy it. So I want to talk about what I feed all these guppies, and I'm going to talk about what I feed them. And I've changed up. I still have pretty much the same ingredients, but I've changed up something new. So these guys just got fed, but they clean it up real quick. So the reason I'm making this video is because I have people. I've done this video a lot of times before. I'm just showing I feed too much. I know. I don't need people leaving comments. That's why I have so many snails. That's why I make so many shrimp too. So feeding all these guppy tanks and fried tanks, and the shrimp tanks are really cool. My shrimp game is definitely ahead of my guppy game at this point. As you can see, lots of snails, but lots and lots and lots. These are blue jellies. There's still some food floating around in there. The orange neos looking real good, eating up all their food. Got some blue dreams. All these guys I'm actively trying to breed, and so the food I give them and the amount I give them is all indicative of that. Then we got some pleco tanks here. Of course, everyone's hiding, and there's guppies in here as well. And we got Bloody Mary shrimp, and we got some plecos in here too. Oh, there's one, long fin green dragons. Then we got the coal shrimp tank. All kinds of different colored shrimp in there. Then we've got some more plecos and guppies in this tank down there. And then we come all the way over here. We got these guppy tanks. Look at all these guppy frying here. The 75-gallon red shrimp tank. Fire reds. Look at all them shrimp. And they were all piled up on the algae wafers, because I fed the algae wafers for the plecos earlier this afternoon. Then here just a little bit ago, I threw in my flake mix that I'm going to talk about in this video. And now they're all spread out enjoying the flake mix. Then we got tanks down there, and then one of my favorite tanks right now, the Panda Guppy tank. This tank is fully cycled, and it's still in the process of establishing itself. So we got a little bit of algae issues growing on the glass, but it's nothing. Usually this little guy takes care of it. We got Panda Guppies, my favorite guppies of all the ones I've got, for sure. And then in here, on the other side of the house, we have the 75-gallon green jade tank. Green jades, and there's some long fin super red plecos in here. Now I have added 16 of these pleco caves to my tanks in the last week. So today I just got a 10-pack that come in the mail. So we're in the process of getting the plecos. The ones in this tank are just now starting to get of age, so we're trying to work on breeding those too. But As you can see, I'm doing pretty good breeding all these shrimp. People are always asking me what I feed, and so now I want to get to the whole point of this video. What I feed when I'm breeding thousands of shrimp, guppies and plecos. So this is my food. These are the different foods I use. They're all from kinsfish.com. I need to be sponsored. I need to, I've sold I don't know how much food for them, and I think they did give me an extra one. I don't know if they did it on purpose or because they're hooking me up, but I've made a previous mix. I make it when I buy all these flakes at a time. I buy them in bulk. They come in half-pound bags, and I buy a pound of each. But I made them last time, and then somehow I still have 2 earthworm flake bags, so they must have given me an extra earthworm flake bag. Each bag contains a half pound of flakes, premium bloodworm flakes, and sometimes I mix it up a little bit, but I always try to stick with the earthworm, the bloodworm, the color max, and the brine shrimp. And mix it up here. The super premium brine shrimp flake, Ken's ultra color max, ultra intense spirulina flake gets mixed in from time to time. But what I've done differently in the last couple of weeks, and it seems to be doing good, is I've always hand ground it down to powder. But then in this last batch, I got down about halfway, and I was like, because I'm always sitting there with because all these things have a bunch of fry and all the little baby shrimplets and everywhere. So I'm still, even after grinding them down in the bag, I'm still using my fingers to grind it in the dust. And so I've decided to use this thing here. We're gonna use a Food Ninja food processor thing that I've used, and it seems to be pretty good. It grinds it in the dust, and everything is pretty good. I think having more surface area, everything eats it better. The smaller things can eat it better. They can eat more. The big ones, they still eat it just the same. So that seems to be better. So we're going to go ahead and usually when I just grind it up in by hand, I can only fit 2.5 pounds. But you can see here we've got 6, and I think grinding it into dust with the food processed deal here, and we'll be able to fit 3 pounds in my container pretty easily. So let's see how this ends up. I've never made a whole big batch like this before, all grounded into with a food processor. So let's see how this goes. Look at this right here. We call this here a catfish. No, it's Meow Meow. What are you doing? See some. I don't know if Elena, she is standing on my daughter's calculus homework, so that's what we got. This deal here, this thing is old and nasty. We don't use it no more, so the wife ain't gonna kill me for messing it up. And this is old. We used to use it for like processing chicken meat to make like chicken tacos and stuff, but we don't use it no more. We got something else, so now I can use it for my mad scientist fish stuff. Let's see if the cat flips out when we get this going. Oh, she don't like it. There, it's getting it going pretty good. let's see what that ended up with. It's pretty hard to look at it and film at the same time. Oh yeah. We've got a nice fine powder, like so. There used to be a second set of blades on this thing, but they're not there no more. Dump that in there. And as you can see here, it's just a super fine powder. So now I'm gonna do the same thing to all these other bags, and I'll check back in when we get to that point. So we're in the middle of making this, and I've realized as I've gone along, this stuff, it gets compacted. So every bag I've been going through and mixing it by hand instead of just going through and shaking it all up at the end. So I've noticed I always had to shake it up before. But now with grounding the powder, it'll compact and won't mix as well. So what I've been doing is every time I add a new bag, I go and mix it up with my hand. So this is all stuff I'm figuring out as I go along. Alright, so this is, I think this is 2 or 2.5 gallon container. And used to I could only fit 2.5 pounds of food in here, and this is 3. So when you grind it up, you can definitely fit more in there, that's obvious. And this is what it looks like. Just dust. Now let's see how it feeds. Alright, got a big healthy pinch here. Oh yeah, feeds just like the last batch that I made. The last batch I got about half empty, and I got, like I said earlier, got sick of grinding it up with my fingers, and so used mechanical advantage, an electric motor, some knife blades. So there you go, pretty good. Now I should talk about the price on this food. It used to be a whole lot more affordable than it is now. So I make enough to mix to make 2 batches, and each batch lasts me about a month. Anymore, I go through it faster than I used to because I got more stuff going on. But I'd say usually about a month and a half. It used to last 2 or 3 months. So I only had to buy that, 3 or 4 times a year, but now I'm probably doing it, yeah, something like that. I'd say when I make 2 or 2.5 pounds, it's only lasting about a month. So this is 3 pounds. So hopefully I'll get a month and a half out of it. And here in probably 2 or 3 weeks, I'll order my next round. So, and like I said, some of the ingredients get switched up, but it's usually pretty close to being what I just made now. There was an extra bag of earthworm flake in this one. So, earthworm flake is always something I put in every batch. So, they may have actually sent me an extra one, but I guess that's cool because I get them in the great big boxes. They come in half-pound bags, and I buy a pound of each. And I usually get 5 different sizes, or 5 different flavors, or flavors, whatever you want to call it. So that's how I do it, and it's pretty successful. Thousands of guppies, thousands upon thousands of shrimp, all breeding, and it's pretty economical. I think it cost me about $90 every time I buy it, and that'll be at least 3 months, 2 or 3 months. So, I mean, I'm probably going through $400 a year in food, and not counting the algae wafers. So that's probably Oh, I go through a big bag of those. Those are anywhere between $40 and $55 depending on availability. So yeah, I mean I'm probably going through $600-700 of food a year. But I think that's pretty economical considering how many critters and tanks I got going on. So there you have it. What do you think about it, Zoe? She thinks I got an itch. Alright everybody. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.